welcome to Family Lounge. My name is Doreen Mukwena, presenting this Family Lounge episode 51 with my husband Peter Zanaka Mukwena, overseer. The episode will help us to understand and overcome 6 challenges that cripple marriages.
Marriage counselors world over hear the following statements in struggling marriages. I'll be happy if only my spouse will. Sadly, when one spouse focuses on the other's performance, it usually leads to the destruction of the relationship.
Without teaching, spouses develop their own natural, human, and self-centered plans for personal happiness in a marriage, at the expense of the couple's marital happiness. For most marriages, the couple's plans get subjected to the unique personalities and personal preferences and differences of each partner.
These may include different family influences, role models, books, and other different spiritual and church experiences, resulting in a different purpose for marriage. Because their plans for marriage happiness are different, conflict usually results.
Naturally, humans are self-centered, constantly wanting to know what the other spouse has done for them lately. As time passes, critics subconsciously revert to the greener pasture syndrome, where they begin to compare their spouse's performance with their own preconceived ideas and expectations, making satisfaction with one own spouse more and more elusive.
Discussed here are the 6 primary factors which destroy marriages and are commonly found in natural human relationships. Number 1, diversity of backgrounds and views. Couples fail to anticipate differences resulting from diverse cultural backgrounds, differing family experiences, perspectives on gender, and others.
During courtship and the honeymoon phases, these differences do not rear their ugly heads. As time goes on, spouses have to determine how to handle certain situations like handling conflict, holidays, how to parent, how to make financial and budget decisions.
These things influence how one views circumstances, and if they do not communicate and commune well, conflict arises. This can also apply to different views on money, sex, and other topics.
Differing viewpoints lead to much conflict if the couple gets no external intervention. So number 2 is performance-based 50-50 relationship. Couples buy into this notion of a 50-50 relationship, meaning they honestly expect their spouse to meet them halfway.
That's a recipe for disaster. True love gives all unconditionally. Number 3, selfishness. Humans have this tendency to think they are good or not as bad as others.
Couples fail to anticipate their self-centered natures that demand their own way, wanting what they want and when they want it. The truth is that we all are selfish and self-centered in some way and at some level. For all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. That's Romans 3 verse 23.
Number 4 challenge is failure to cope with life's trials. Life has trials and hardships from day one. When as a baby you had to be force pushed out of your mom's womb. Spouses do not deal with life's trials at the same level. When this happens, this failure in one or both spouses during different stages of marriage leads to serious conflict.
When painful trials come into marriage, instead of standing together through them, couples tend to blame each other or think something is wrong with the other spouse and the way they handle their pain. And so, number 5 is a fantasy view of marriage. People often have a fantasy and fairy tale view of love and marriage.
Movies, TV, books, internet, and social media all point to a romantic love that isn't realistic. Some spouses often get fooled into thinking that their relationships will unfold just as the couple in the movie or on Facebook and Instagram.
This leads to problems with physical and emotional intimacy for both spouses. They quickly feel stuck with an unloving person and become deceived into believing that the next one will be better.
Sadly, usually they are the same or worse. Then number 6, lack of vital relationship with Jesus. This is a critical make or break issue.
Many people lack a vital relationship with Jesus Christ. It could be that they have never come to a specific point in time when they ask Jesus Christ into their lives, and therefore he has no impact on the marriage relationship.
It could also be from how Christ is viewed as a religious belief which does not affect daily life. Research has shown that more than 50% of highly happy couples agree with the statement, God is the center of our relationship.
As believers, ultimately only Jesus can unlock the deepest dimensions of human intimacy and meet our every need, taking us to our truest level of spiritual relationships. Apart from Jesus, you are living a reduced level of intimacy in your own marriage.
God's solution is the faith relationship. The faith relationship you need to adopt to have a successful marriage is opposite of the performance relationship. The faith relationship is not natural at all, it is supernatural.
You will only learn about this kind of relationship from God through His Word. The faith relationship does not focus on the human performance of one spouse, but on God's character, promises, and faithfulness.
This kind of relationship involves God as the guarantor of the marriage with the specifics of the guarantee found in the scriptures. It's long-term hope based on God's character and faithfulness.
We know that God is good and He loves us. His guidance that He has led to many, a certain person becomes more important than the initial human attraction that brought us together.
You begin to focus more on Christ and His Word rather than your spouse and his or her failure to perform to your expectations. When considering the faith relationship, one question that often comes up is, can God fulfill my needs in this marriage despite my spouse's weaknesses?
The answer is yes. If God can meet your needs anyway, then your spouse's weaknesses no longer limit you. This fact frees husbands and wives to love one another unconditionally as they thank God for His gracious provision.
Christ set the example for the faith relationship. Rather than focus on the failure and weaknesses of those who unjustly wronged Him, He focused on God and His promises.
In 1 Peter 2 verse 23 we read, "But Jesus kept entrusting Himself to Him who judges righteously." Jesus believed in God's sovereign plan more than His desire to abandon the cross, more than His disappointment over Peter's denials, and more than His desire for His persecutors to receive instant justice.
Christ based His relationships on faith in God rather than the performance of man. Think about how Christ responded to the failures of others on the cross.
There is no better example for husbands and wives to model in their own marriages. May God bless you to build a lifelong, blessed and joyful marriage.
You're welcome to contact us so that we can avail more information, guidance, help, or counsel according to Proverbs 24:6, or prayer according to James 5:13-16 for your marriage.
So, from Overseer PZ Mukwena and myself, Doreen Mukwena, we thank you for listening and God bless you.
Get me behind. Yeah! Victory!